Why is the latest Hindenburg Research Report on SEBI Chief Madhabi Buch all over the news? What are the actual allegations on the SEBI Chief? Is there a possibility that the SEBI Chief might be innocent? In this video, I'll tell you in detail all the key allegations against the SEBI Chief and also the possible scenarios where she may well be innocent. Let's begin. The first allegation is regarding offshore fund investments. The report claims that Madhabi Buch and her husband invested in certain offshore funds like the Global Dynamic Opportunities Fund and IPE Plus Fund 1, which were allegedly used by Vinod Adani, a key figure in the Adani Group, for questionable financial activities. The report suggests that Vinod Adani used the IPE Plus fund to reinvest money in Indian markets. This money was allegedly siphoned from over-invoicing power equipment imported by the Adani Group. Over-invoicing means inflating the price of goods on paper to move extra money out of the country. Whistleblower documents mentioned in the report indicate that Madhabi Buch, the chairperson of SEBI, and her husband Dhaval Buch had stakes in these same offshore funds. They reportedly opened their account with IPE Plus Fund 1 in June 2015 before Madhabi Buch joined SEBI. This investment was linked to her and her husband's declared net worth of approximately $10 million. And this is where the allegations of conflict of interest rise. As the chairperson of SEBI, Madhabi Buch is responsible for overseeing and regulating the financial markets in India. This includes investigating potential misconduct by companies. If she or her family has financial ties to the same entities under investigation, it could create a potential conflict of interest. Even if there is no direct involvement in the alleged activities, having investments in these funds might influence her decision making or lead to a perceived bias in how SEBI handles the Adani case. However, SEBI chief might be innocent as well. This is how. The investments in these offshore funds by the Buch family were made in June 2015, before Madhabi Buch became a senior member of SEBI in April 2017. At the time of the investment, she may not have anticipated that she would later be in a regulatory position where the activities of these funds would come under scrutiny. If Madhabi Buch or her husband divested from these funds or made efforts to distance themselves from these investments once she took on her SEBI role, it could indicate that they were trying to avoid any conflicts of interest. It's possible they were unaware of the full extent of the fund's involvement with the Adani Group. Again, these are just possibilities. The truth will come out only through a thorough investigation. Here's the next allegation now. Timing of investments and SEBI appointment. The report implies that Madhabi Buch or her husband might have transferred assets out of her name before she joined SEBI to avoid any potential conflicts of interest. This could involve selling or transferring investments in the offshore funds or other assets that might raise concerns once she assumed her regulatory role. The timing of these asset transfers just before her SEBI appointment could create a perception that she was trying to cover up potential conflicts of interest. This could lead to questions about her impartiality in her role as a regulator, particularly in cases involving entities like the Adani Group. However, here's a scenario where the SEBI chief might be innocent as well. This is how. If Madhabi Buch and her husband were not aware of any potential problems with the investments or the funds involved, they might have believed that the transfers were simply part of good financial hygiene. Without knowledge of any issues, there would be no reason for them to think that these transfers could be seen as problematic. Further, if Madhabi Buch fully disclosed these asset transfers and her financial interest to SEBI as part of her appointment process, it could indicate that she had no intention of hiding anything. Full disclosure would suggest that she was transparent about her financial situation, thereby adhering to ethical standards. Here's the next allegation. Offshore business interests. The report also reveals that the SEBI chief held a 100% interest in an offshore company in Singapore while she was working at SEBI. Although having an offshore company is not illegal, it raises concerns about transparency and whether it influenced her decisions at SEBI. The report claims that she transferred her shares in this company to her husband just after becoming SEBI chairperson in 2022. This could be seen as an attempt to distance herself from the company on paper while still controlling it through her husband. Now here's a scenario where SEBI chief may be innocent. The decision to transfer the shares to her husband might have been due to her new role as SEBI chairperson. This could have been done to ensure compliance with SEBI's regulations and to avoid any potential conflicts of interest. If the offshore company was not involved in any business that SEBI regulates, or if it was a passive holding company with no active business operations, it might not have posed any real conflict of interest. Here's the final key allegation: husband's role at Blackstone. The Hindenburg Research Report raises concerns about a potential conflict of interest due to Madhabi Buch's husband, Dhaval Buch, serving as a senior advisor to Blackstone, a significant player in Indian real estate. Blackstone has substantial interest in real estate investment trusts. Since SEBI regulates real estate investment trusts and Madhabi Buch has publicly promoted REITs as good investment options, the connection between her regulatory role and her husband's position at Blackstone could be seen as problematic, especially if Blackstone's REITs or real estate ventures stand to gain from increased investor interest. However, here's a scenario where she could be innocent. Madhabi Buch's promotion of REITs could be seen as part of a role in SEBI aimed at educating and informing investors about different investment options. Her advocacy for REITs as good investments might have been based on their merits and potential benefits for retail investors rather than any connection to her husband's firm. If the promotion of REITs benefited the entire industry rather than just Blackstone, it would be more challenging to argue that her actions were biased. My concluding comments. This case requires thorough investigation. A panel under the ambit of the Supreme Court of India should be given the responsibility to verify these allegations. The claims are strong, but there is enough possibility that the SEBI chief may well be innocent. In a statement, she has categorically denied the allegations. This is all I have for you now. Thank you for watching. If you liked this detailed analysis, please do like and share this video, and do not forget to subscribe to this channel. I'll see you again.